fucking film it! Ah!
Renfield is directed by McKay. It stars Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, Awkwafina and Ben Schwartz. And in this film, based off the popular Universal monster, Renfield, the servant of Count Dracula, tries to move away from his abusive master to live a normal life. But the Count is trying to organise an army to take over the world. Now, I was actually quite excited to see this film. The trailers actually filled me with a lot of excitement. But the main draw for me was, of course, that Nicolas Cage will be playing Count Dracula. If you've ever seen a film called Vampire's Kiss, you will obviously know why I was excited. If you haven't watched that movie, I would highly suggest it to anyone, 100%. Going into this, I wasn't really expecting anything eye-popping, mind-blowing or anything. I just thought, as long as it's a fun time, I'm happy. And pretty much that's what this film is. It's just fun, bloody fun. That's what it is, pretty much. This movie has about 4 plots. 3 subplots, 1 main plot. And I'll be honest, the main plot, which is the Dracula and Renfield conflict, is the best part of this movie. It's interesting. Renfield is a likeable protagonist. Yeah, he does bad deeds, but he's got no choice. Dracula is his master. And, you know, Dracula's abusive to him. He's got no choice. Unless he wants to get killed, get really injured. Yeah, you feel bad for him. And can I just say, Count Dracula is purely unlikable. He has no good morals. He views people as food, pretty much. He just wants to organise this grand army of something to rule the world. He is just pure evil. That's all he is. And it just makes you root for Renfield more and more and more. But of course, as I said at the start, the main draw to this movie was that Nicolas Cage will be playing the famous vampire. A role which he has always said is one of his dream roles to take. And yeah, he kills it in this role. To me, I think he's the best version of Dracula we've seen on screen. Nicolas Cage is just made for this role. It's like God just said, you will play Dracula one day. And now he's doing it. And boy, I want to see him do it again. I really do. But he's not the only good performance in this film. Nicholas Hoult does a very good job as Renfield as well. I also think Awkwafina does a good job with her character. And Ben Schwartz, he is so over the top in this. In fact, in some ways, he's a bit more over the top than Nicolas Cage. I know, shock. But he was still good and really fun in this as well. And also, the film's direction is also pretty solid as well. The action scenes do have quick cuts and shaky cam, and there is the odd few times where it is a bit jarring. But for what I can tell, the choreography there is really good as well. But for what it is, the action was shot fairly well. You could understand what was happening. The choreography, as I said, was really good. And even just the normal scenes, you know, the colour grading, the shot composition looked really nice. It had this weird futuristic blue tint over it. It's hard to explain, but there's also a bit at the start where they're introducing Dracula and Renfield. And they have this whole thing where it's shot like a 1950s film. And I really like that. I really like the way this film was shot and directed. But where I take issue with this movie is that there's other 3 plots. There's this one plot where Awkwafina's character is trying to reconnect with her sister after her dad's death. And it's so boring. Like, I wasn't compelled by it at all. It was uninteresting. It was developed in like 3 scenes. They try and connect it to the end of the movie, but it never works, unfortunately. And there's this whole thing with this drug cartel, which I like the goofiness of it, but I don't know. It was way out of place for me. The thing is, this movie is just way too short to fit all this. This is about a 90-minute movie. That's including credits. Fitting all that in that time frame is just going to be super difficult. This movie needed to be about 2 hours long if it wanted to really do a good job with those plots. And also, this movie just feels like it had a lot cut out of it. Sometimes scenes just end abruptly. Plot conveniences happen which just make my head scratch. Just to progress the movie forward even quicker. Which is fine for pacing. And this movie is paced very well. But it also comes with the flaw with just contrivances that really just make you confused. There's other nitpicks in there as well, but Look, for what it is, Renfield was just a fun time. I will say, if you're a person who does not like blood and gore and all that, this is definitely not a movie for you. This movie was surprisingly more gory than I expected. I was expecting blood and everything, you know. It's Dracula. He drinks the crap, for God's sake. But wow, like, honestly, it was mad how much blood and gore was in this. But as I said, Renfield is just bloody fun. Nicolas Cage just kills it as Dracula. Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, he was good as well. The action's done very well. The main plot is developed pretty well for what it is. Renfield was just a fun little concept. Interesting spin-off to the Dracula character. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give Renfield a very solid 6.5 out of 10. Not amazing, not great, but still a lot of fun. And guys, that is it for the end of this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Next video, you know what, why not? We'll review Vampire's Kiss. This is a movie which I have loved. I just watched it again last night and oh wow. Yeah, I think it's time to speak about it. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of Renfield down in the comments. Always love to hear your thoughts. Have a good day. See you later.